Hi, my name is David Young, and this is my video journal for Mr. Burns. There was one thing that was really memorable for me in this play was that because I grew up watching The Simpsons and was really familiar with all the different episodes, and it was awesome to see how they applied these episodes to this play and to show how it was very influential in a post-apocalyptic world 75 years later. There were three themes that came to my mind when I was reading through this play, and that was one, revenge, two, legacy and the true effects of a post-apocalyptic world. So first, I wanted to go through revenge. Is that Mr. Burns wanted revenge on and wanted to kill Bart throughout the whole play, or throughout the whole episode that they were depicting. And Bart finally got to get his revenge on Mr. Burns and being able to kill him at the end of the third act. The true effects of the post-apocalyptic world were really key for me because the characters really were having issues with finding coke and the effects of trying to find duct tape and going through the different Walmart aisles were really key. And the last theme I came up with is legacy, and this was a really hard theme for me to think about, but it's more of a personal thought, and it's that how the Simpsons were able to be influential 75 years later in this post-apocalyptic world, and it's more of that you had to think about how you want your story to be told eventually throughout the future, and that was really key for me in this play. Um, it was really hard to think of what kind of play this was, and I just thought of it as a tragedy for the effects that the killing of Marge and Homer, the unexpected turn that the protagonist Bart makes to kill Mr. Burns, and just the overall mood of the whole play. There were three different aspects that showed the relation between Act 2 and Act 3, and that was when Burns clamps down on Homer's face, which was the gesture that Sam made to Gibson in Act 2. The death of Maria, which kind of relates to the numerous amounts of death in Act 3 of, Homer, Marge, and Mr. Burns. And then in Act 2, there was a moment where, they're singing the top hits from the past 10 years, and the lyrics of Goodbye to Everything, It's the End of Everything, are re-quoted in Bart's singing of his goodbye in Act 3. Finally, the significance of the play is that even after 75 years, television such as The Simpsons are continuing being reproduced in different forms of media, and it just tells us that the world of Mr. Burns is still important, and I think it's absolutely influential to everybody in this world. The couple popular culture stories that I'm pretty interested to see if this would happen, in a post-apocalyptic world, say Donald Trump becomes president of our nation, and I believe the different effects that he actually makes, good or bad, will be retold and will prevail. And these stories are meaningful in the world because of the telling of the future and how they affected everything, as well as the effects of social media. And I'm really interested to see how they affected us as living throughout this society, and to see if they would still be effective in the post-apocalyptic world. Excuse me. And my two questions that I want to leave you with today is that without proper knowledge of the Simpsons series, would a reader of this play have difficulty really understanding it? And my last question is, when you first began reading through the play, were you as the reader confused by the way that the play began without giving much prior knowledge? Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed reading the play.